Hello, welcome to the channel. This is my first actual proper YouTube video. So far, it's just been clips off the show. So I just thought I'd do a fun little album ranking of Korn since we've spent quite a few weeks on the podcast going through the albums. I thought we could definitively rank them. Well, on my side anyway. It'd be interesting to get Mike's view on it. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So we've got don't worry, they're not all in F. I've just left them there for now. So we've got self-titled. It speaks for itself, doesn't it? S tier, obviously, just such a phenomenal, groundbreaking album. Really sets the scene. Life is Peachy. Again, like I said on the podcast, it's got some really great songs. It does follow up strongly, but there's a lot of kind of rough kind of songs and daft kind of songs that really pull it back from me. So for now, I might change it. For now, it's going in C. Follow the Leader, again, we said this on the pod. This obviously was like a groundbreaking, phenomenal album. Really brought Korn into the stratosphere. But there's a lot of kind of rough, bad songs on it. So, there's also some really great ones. So at the moment, I'm going to put it in B, but we'll see how things go for now. Issues is probably one of my favourites, although I will admittedly say it's not the best Korn album. I think I'm going to put that in an A. Again, we talked about it on the pod, that there are kind of issues with them, issues with the issues. There are the problems with the kind of interlude tracks and just certain little other things, a bit muddy in the mix and production, but all in all, it's a great album. I think it really showcases what the band can do. Untouchables, again, are loved by a lot of people, not by me, not by Mike. We talked about this on the pod again. This really to me is quite a bit of a letdown, and it's quite weak. So I'm going to put it in D for now, and I think people may get mad about that because I know it's a very cherished album. I think probably because it was really truly the last album in their kind of peak era. But for me, it really isn't very good, to be honest. I don't really enjoy it. Take a look in the mirror. A step up from Untouchables, but it just kind of feels a bit lazy, a bit phoned in. It just seems like they were kind of trying to match what their peers were doing at the same time. Let's just make a heavy album. Pretty rough recording process for it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I can appreciate that it's as a whole, it's not really much of an offensive album. So I'm going to put it in C for now. Okay, here we go. See You on the Other Side. I think See You on the Other Side's got to stay in F. I'm sorry. It is really bad, especially on a recent re-listen. It only kind of hit home for me on how bad that album actually is. It's just a car crash of an album. I really don't like it. Untitled, I do think it's a step up from See You on the Other Side. I feel like it's a bit more focused and there's more of an effort, but all in all, it's not a very good Korn album. It's kind of the album that really set them on a bit of a downwards, a bit of a fall off a cliff. Would you say? It really was the one that kind of made a lot of fans depart the band. So I'm going to put it in E, but I do think it has some redeeming qualities, unlike See You on the Other Side, which is just kind of trash, really. Korn 3, so it's either going to be F or E, I'm afraid. Again, another quite bad album, a pretty poor attempt at trying to recapture the old sound. It feels really phoned in. It feels quite disingenuous, and it just really doesn't work for me. However, the music itself isn't the worst, so I'm gonna put it in E. Totality can stay in F. Yeah. Now, the collabs they did with Skrillex on that album, I don't necessarily hate, but everything else on that album is really bad. I think it was a terrible decision. I'm all up for experimenting and trying new things, but this kind of felt a bit of a cash grab, and I just really don't appreciate it for that. So that's staying in the F. So now we get into the kind of the new, more kind of modern era with Head's return. We got the paradigm shift. I'm going to give it it's on the edge of B and C at the moment, because I think I'm going to put it on B because it's a very good return to form, but it's not quite as good as the next three albums for me. So now we get to the Serenity of Suffering. Things going wrong. Sorry. Serenity of Suffering. Great album. Really great, really heavy. A majorly step up from what they kind of been doing over the past decade in their career to that point. Amazing album. Terrible artwork. I've got to say that. Terrible artwork, but fantastic album. The Nothing as well. It's A tier. It's really good. Requiem, I'm just going to knock it down to B, just because it was a bit short and it hasn't really stuck with me in the same ways that Nothing has, or the Serenity of Suffering. So yeah, that's it. Korn ranking done. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. Do you love it? Do you hate it? If you like watching these kind of things, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, as I've mentioned many times, I have a podcast, John's Jam Sessions. So please check that out on Spotify. I do release the episodes in full on YouTube, but Spotify really is the home of the pod. Okay, thank you.